Oh, great. Let me guess. Another adventurer. Here to trade, to get something from my hoard. Well, I'm afraid you're too late. I'm not offering any more exchanges. Not until next year. You've missed the window of opportunity. Maybe you, will have better luck next year. You might want to choose your words more carefully. If you say you would do anything, you might not like the terms that I offer under those conditions. Well, there's nothing that I need. Look around you. I have everything. I have a kingdom. I have untold treasure. People come from thousands of miles around, begging to get scraps that I'm maybe willing to give them. I don't need anything at all, not from you. But that doesn't mean you won't be useful. Need is not the same as want. Well, I guess if you're willing to entertain the offer, maybe I should at least extend it to you. Long ago, I was an adventurer when I was just a young dragon. I was. In fact, all or most of the artifacts, the gold, the fame that I now have, I earned in my adventures. You know, it's very easy to defeat a bunch of bandits when you're a dragon. I mean, what are they going to do to me with their tiny little arrows and their tiny little swords? Nothing. So I completed more missions for the guild than anyone else ever has, and likely more than anyone else ever will. I amassed a fortune that no other dragon can rival, and not just in monetary value. You see, every single item here has a story attached to it. Take this spear, for instance. You look at it and tell me, what do you see? Why, thank you. A beautiful enchanted spear is true, but that is not the whole story. Because you see, this spear was pried from the hands of a rogue Valkyrie after I slit her throat. And this reminds me of my triumph over her. It's not just an amazing spear. It's an amazing spear that represents my victory, that represents my fame, my power, my glory. Oh, it's very simple. There is a ton of fame and renown in being the underdog or being an unknown who accomplishes incredible feats. But now, everyone expects such things of me. I could save the world a dozen times over, and people would not blink. Because I have done it. I may not, be as interested as humans like you in making sure that civilization continues. At least not from a moral perspective. But if everyone dies, who gets to admire my glory? There will be no one left to... Basically, yes. To beg for my assistance, for my boon, to be considered one of my champions. And it's an honor that has not been bestowed on a human in, well, likely before you were born. Not to be too blunt, but humans live very short lives and are very ambitious, and more often than not, they tend to get themselves into trouble. This is not something I admire in a champion. Well, loyalty, of course. Of all the champions I've had over these thousands of years, humans have been the ones most likely to try and betray me. And not slightly more likely, but significantly, to the point where every single champion I now claim... No. Look around you. I have armed guards here, not because I need them, but because I want them. They protect my treasure, not because I need them to, but because it allows me to do other things I would prefer to do, like make deals with mortals. After all, that's the reason you're here. They know better. They have a long memory. Elves, dwarves, gnomes. They do not betray my trust. And so I feel confident putting my trust in them. But if you are willing to do anything, then you are willing to be my next human champion. And all that entails. Oh, did you not know? Well, it's very simple. It's no longer impressive for me to go out and complete these missions and earn these rewards. But you know what is impressive? To train another to do it for me. And you may take a lot of training before you're ready, but that just makes the fame and glory even better. Oh, no. There is nothing impressive in sending a demigod to defeat a band of gnolls. But sending a regular human that I have hand-trained to fight one of my draconic rivals, maybe? Now that is quite a story, quite a tale to tell. And that is why you interest me, assuming, of course, you are willing to do anything. Well, those were your words, not mine. Oh, well, I didn't ask, because I don't really care what it is you want. I can offer just about anything. What's important here is if you're willing to accept my terms. Fine. I will at least hear you. What is it you wish for? What do you desire from all of the things I can offer? I can give you arcane secrets. I can give you untold wealth. I can give you magical creatures you've probably never even heard of. So, what brought you here? Human, tell me why you've come. Are you serious? Really? You came all this way to ask to borrow a paperweight, and you will do anything for it? A paperweight? Really? You do know you could just go outside and pick up a rock and that would work, right? There's no need. How far did you travel to get here? Aha, which explains why you got here too late. You're lucky I'm even willing to consider this, but really, a paperweight. Honestly, it's insulting. I can offer phenomenal power, and you want a mundane object you could pick up on the ground outside. Well, you've got to specify these things. You know, if I were a djinn, This would turn out very badly for you. You have got to be more specific. So tell me about this specific paperweight. What does it do? Why is it worth traveling so far and worth offering everything to get? Yes, I do know you mortals are very sentimental. If what you say is true, and this paperweight was once a family heirloom that incidentally wound up here in my collection, surely you can describe it to me. You're joking, right? And you think it's a paperweight? Oh, you humans, you are... It would be amusing if you weren't frustrating to talk to. Yes, I have it. It is not a paperweight. That is the ancient orb of Canal, one of the most powerful magical artifacts in the world, and it's kept inside that case to prevent people from accidentally touching it, because just touching it would dissolve your skin. No, it's not. It is not a snow globe. It is not a paperweight that is swirling necrotic magic. How? You described it perfectly, so I don't think you're lying. But the sheer ignorance of humans to think of that as just a normal object. Now I'm in a bit of a bind, because I don't think I can let you leave here with that. It is quite literally far too dangerous to be out there in the world. I keep it locked away safely. Others would use it for very nefarious purposes. I don't want it getting out of hand. I will not let it happen. I will not let it fall into the wrong hands. I have no reason to trust you, though. That's the thing. I don't know you. And yes, you described it, but you could just be claiming it's an heirloom. Perhaps you read about it in a tome somewhere. Perhaps you've come here trying to convince me it's worthless, so you can walk out of here as the most powerful human sorcerer the world has ever seen. I don't know this. And even if you are not, maybe one of your ancestors was. Maybe an ancient curse which still resides on that orb will activate as soon as it's in the hands of someone of your bloodline. Aha. But I didn't accept your terms yet. No, that is not how this works. I will make this deal with you on one condition. You should not agree before you hear the condition. Once again, that would be your ruin if I were a djinn. You have a lot to learn, which means I have a lot to teach, and that goes hand in hand with my condition. You want this orb. You say it's a family heirloom. Fine. Sure. Why not? But I'm not giving it to you now. I will claim you as my champion, and I will train you as my champion, and you will perform extraordinary heroic feats for me. And if you survive and make a name for yourself and prove that you do not have ill intent, I will give you the orb. Don't thank me just yet. You have no idea the training that awaits you. No. Try a couple of years. We will, see if you're ready then. With chronomancy, of course. How else? I don't want to waste any of my valuable time, so we will enter a hyperbolic chamber of time. And in there, you will train for several years, in the span of only a few hours. And by the time we're done in there, I will know whether or not you were worth my time. No, the training alone is not enough to prove anything. The training is the first step. Have you never listened to any of the epic ballads the bards sing? Training is step 1. The orb? Let's call it step 100 and go from there. Well, if it really is so dear to your family, I have offered you a way to obtain it. The choice is yours, whether or not you accept. You really are quick to make this deal. You know, I normally require a 3-day waiting period to ensure that what I'm being asked is actually what people want. You are so insistent. Fine. I will make an exception this once. Do not make me regret it. Your training begins now. Hello, Comets. Star here. And thank you for listening to this video, audio, vadio kind of thing. And also, TGIFF. I'm really in love with this whole Fan Friday thing. I know I said it last time, it's a collaborative storytelling thing, but you know what? It's also probably one of my favorite group activities, you know? And yeah, it's improv, so a lot of it is coming from me, but having direction and an idea where to go from and an idea what you want to hear, it helps so much. There have been times I sit down to record and it's just a complete, oh man, I'm getting a mental roadblock trying to think of the right word to explain essentially a mental roadblock. Anyway, sometimes I sit down to record and just, the words don't flow. The thoughts don't flow. It doesn't happen. And a lot of times it's because I'm not really sure what premise I want to go with, or how to start it, or something like that. And so, having a picture that was voted on that admittedly did change a little bit this week. We started with sort of a minotaur / demon looking thing, but as I was working with more pictures, dragon just, it stood out, and it's still based on the character. If you compare the two pictures, I'm sure you'll see the resemblance. So we have the Dragon Queen and becoming her champion. So the question was, how do I pull that off? Right? Because if you're becoming a champion, there's a reason for it. And actually what I've done a lot lately is I will pause my recording when I'm trying to figure out like where to take it next. I'll pause and I'll get up and stretch my legs and get a drink of water and just spend a couple of minutes doing something else and come back to it. And that seems to be really effective. So I did that here. And I don't know where the paperweight came from. And then as soon as I said it, I was like, no, come on, that's not quite enough, right? So I thought it'd be funny if it was actually this ancient, powerful, evil artifact. But the listener just doesn't know it. And he's like, oh yeah, it's my family heirloom, I want it back. So, hopefully, you had as much fun listening as I did recording. This was a great one. I like it. I'm happy. And I feel like I'm getting sick. I think I said in another audio this week. So I'm going to cut it here and go rest my voice and drink some more tea. So, I will see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.